a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I don't know how I managed it, with Carter and Zia yammering, but I got some sleep in the back of the truck, even after the excitement of seeing Amos alive. As soon as we got going again, I was back in the bunk and drifting off. I suppose a good hard D spell can really take it out of you. Naturally, my bar took this as an opportunity to travel. Heaven forbid I get some peaceful rest. I found myself back in London, on the banks of the Thames. Cleopatra's Needle rose up in front of me. It was a grey day, cool and calm, and even the smell of the low-tide muck made me feel homesick. Isa stood next to me, in a cloud-white dress, her dark hair braided with diamonds, her multicoloured wings faded in and out behind her like the northern lights. Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Raye, following the path of Geb.
And I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast. Hey, Raye, what's up with the so many short chapters?
Yeah. You know, pacing. Pacing towards the end of a book, it gets complicated.
It sure is. And I feel like we wasted a great chapter title on this really short chapter.
No, it's perfect, though. It's literally perfect.
I feel like there wasn't enough of men asking for directions, though.
Well, they did. And, okay, because the and other signs of the apocalypse is the important part, you know? It's the build-up. It's the knowing that, like, it's happening now.
Still, I'm just like, but we're not with the men asking for directions. We're with Sadie and Isis, and they're talking about other shit.
Those are the other signs of the apocalypse.
I'm just like, this title feels misleading to me.
That's so fascinating because I had the exact opposite take. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I mean, no, I love the vibes.
Yes.
Like, it's a great title. I just feel like it's wasted because I'm like, I want to see the men asking for directions. Because, like, that doesn't happen. That's insane.
God. No, I couldn't care less. I hate directions. I don't know if you know this about me. I hate directions. If anyone tries to tell me directions, I'm like, no. I'm over here with my GPS. Don't talk to me. I will not remember it. And they're always like, do you know where the Walmart used to be? And I'm like, no, I've lived here for like 5 years. Like, everyone just assumes you are a local. Okay, sorry.
No, that's valid. That's totally valid, man.
Anyway.
I'm also no longer, like, in a place where I could be a local, so...
I've never been a local anywhere in my entire life. It's a thing. And people always do that shit.
It's true. Yeah. This is why GPSs were invented.
Exactly. It's the GPS is an ADHD assistive device. Like, I need that shit. I would be dead without it. I'd swear to you. I would be off on some road somewhere.
Sometimes I just put it on even when I know where I'm going, just so I can be like, okay, I have to remember to focus.
No,
right?
I have never...
To be like, I gotta remember to take this turn, and like...
Yeah, if I'm driving, like, down the highway to my grandma's house, I know that I will not be thinking about it when the exit's coming up. Yeah,
exactly. But also, I never turn the voice on because, like, I'm always listening to something, and it always interrupts. So I'm like, excuse me, I missed like the last few words of my podcast or my music. Like, fuck you. No, I'm not putting your voice on ever again. So I actually did like miss my exit like the other day.
Of course.
Twice.
Yeah.
And because I was like very focused on listening to Epic. So
good.
I don't know who to blame anymore. It's your fault, it's Ethan's fault, it's Kyla's fault.
I'm so glad.
It's Haley's fault. It's so many people's fault.
blame Teddy because Teddy is the one who told me to check it out, even though Teddy has never listened through Epic all the way either.
Excuse me?
They're just on
I've
TikTok.
almost
You know how things go.
listened to it. Yeah, I'm almost through my 7th time listening.
Wow.
I just need to finish the last saga because I got home before it finished and I was like, well, I'm gonna take a nap. So
sleepy time.
okay, you wanna talk about this chapter?
Let's
We
do
were
that.
we were almost on track.
It was
there.
close.
And then
okay. So, yeah, Sadie takes a quick nap, and Isis shows her some images of destruction. Also, Carter has to be Pharaoh and not her because of reasons. They make it to Phoenix. Zia tries to fix everything, while Carter and Amos are in a gas station doing the titular direction asking. She sympathizes with Sadie not wanting Amos to be set, but she needs her to, like, take the true name and try to use the spell on him anyways, you know, just cuz. Before Sadie can decide whether or not to listen to Zia, they run out of time. The boys are back in town and we're headed off to the seat of Set's power.
I'm actually so annoyed. Like, okay, reading this chapter by chapter and like not just like zooming through the whole thing, I didn't realize like how many times Zia's just like, I'm gonna give you this your name, and like gets interrupted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on. Can you just do it already?
Yeah, like, don't give them a
like
choice,
should
just
be
do
there
it.
by now. Just say it. Come on.
I mean, she tried.
Say it out loud.
I know what you are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you brought a myth thing to me, technically. I wanted to talk about this anyway. I just wasn't sure if there was a page for it because I didn't know what it would be called.
Right.
But we're gonna talk about some true names, some secret names, but like true names, whatever, you know, name shit. In case you missed it. All right. So a true name, according to this specific Wikipedia page, is a name of a thing or being that expresses or is somehow identical to its true nature. Jesus Christ. There's just like a lot of this all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
But I do love that our first thing here under the religious stuff is in fact Egyptian.
Yay!
We love it. It's when Isis took Ra's name in that whole elaborate trick. It says in order to put Horus on the throne, it's actually in order to put, like, Osiris on the throne, and then Horus eventually.
Yeah.
But, you know, this person is kind of slightly mixed up.
Well, maybe they're just, you know, jumping ahead.
Yeah. But then there's a couple things here that, like, I didn't even think about. Apparently, Socrates mentions true names as well. Oh, it's in Plato, sorry. It's technically Plato speaking for Socrates.
So I think that I know what this is talking about, which is, do you know the word platonic? Like the platonic ideal of something. Not platonic, like non-romantic, but like, you're like, the platonic idea of an apple is like the purest form of the idea of a thing.
So they're saying like a true name is like a platonic form of like you?
Maybe. Or maybe they're just talking about the true name of anything. It doesn't look, I don't know.
Yeah. Saying that like
whether words have an intrinsic relation to the things they signify. So like this is a whole like philosophy thing about language and like it's not quite what we're talking about.
But I'm just like, oh look, more Greek stuff. Ayo. And also there's a Roman thing. There's a goddess that guarded the true name of Rome itself. Her name is Angerona. I have never heard this name before. So that's pretty cool. I also personally would have put down like, it's weird that like they separate some other stuff, because if you go down to like folklore and literature, then they have the Odyssey stuff in here, where it's like, hey, Odysseus was like, I'm nobody, I'm no one, like don't worry about it, I'm not gonna say my name to you, Cyclops. And then later he does.
Yeah, like, I guess that they are not considering the Odyssey like a religious text, even though it is based off of Greek religion. That seems interesting, the way that they're doing that.
Yeah. There's some other examples that I would have also put in here from Greek stuff, like how the Furies themselves have two
Mm.
names. Like Rick didn't invent that. That is literally like in the lore itself that they have two different
Hmm.
names, the Furies and the Kindly Ones, and they are referred to by different names like depending on the
Mhm.
context. And it's like, "Oh, we want to not anger them right now. We're just going to call them the Kindly Ones." So, just, and then like there's also, I know I've mentioned this before, but there's like a specific goddess, Despoina, who's like, you don't know what her true name is unless you're in the mystery cult of like wherever she's specifically from. I forgot it at this moment, but if you're in the mystery cult, you get to know her true name.
Mm.
And the theory is that she's actually Persephone. So, fun facts for you. But, ayo, I forgot about Judaism because it's also on here. Did you know?
Yes, I
Like,
noticed.
the true name of God shit, it's also in here. I did not realize that kind of came from. Okay, it says Hellenistic Judaism. Does that mean it came from, like, the Greeks? Like, the Greeks influenced?
Yeah, it
Because
looks like it.
Hellenistic is that's Greek shit.
Right.
So they influenced it with true name stuff, and it's like, okay, we the true name of God is really important. It's got super power. We don't say it.
Mhm.
That's taboo. Yeah. So there's other religious things as well. There's I do not remember Jacob wrestling with an angel.
Uh,
That's another story I've not heard of.
yeah, that's a whole thing. It's really homoerotic, actually, and also the angel is maybe God.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would make sense based off of the last thing. So
right.
there you go.
Yeah, it's about the struggle with the divine, the eternal, challenge of dealing with God and faith and stuff.
I have no idea what this next thing is about, so I'm gonna skip it. Okay, there's also something about like Taoist traditions with like true names and true forms of demons and spirits.
That's very
Okay,
interesting.
okay.
Okay, and you can inscribe the name of a spirit on a talisman, and it can even give you temporary control over that entity. That tracks with some of this other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I always love stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's very cool. Okay, and then we go into folklore and literature, which okay, why did we now get more Judaism stuff? Because
Yeah, I don't know.
this is about the angel of death, and maybe it's a story that's like not necessarily in
Right.
the Torah or
Right.
anything, and
Again,
that's fine.
it's in the tradition, but it's not in the text. Which seems to be the difference that they're doing here.
Okay. So if the angel of death doesn't know the name of the child, then they can't take it.
Right. So if a bunch of your children die, you give
Ooh.
the new one no name and you call them Alter, which is old in Yiddish, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, and then when they grow up, they finally get a name. That's so fascinating. So I know the angel of death, like from the Passover. Are you familiar? Like,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Like I did in fact watch A Prince of Egypt when I was very
Okay,
young,
yes.
so I do know some
The
things.
blood on the door, like signifying like pass
Yeah.
over this house. Yeah, don't take my child. So like it makes sense how that would transfer from that. So the thing that I expected to see and the thing that I don't see here, and so I'm wondering if this is
Are we
like
talking about the fairy thing?
not a thing. Yeah. So
The fae.
what I understood is that the reason that we in our culture have middle names is for your middle name to be like a secret name that is like your actual name that you don't tell to anybody, so that your first name that you use generally doesn't have as much power. And so, like, you can tell it to people and they won't be able to get like control over you from that. And I was under the impression that that was related to like the Fae thing, where, well, apparently Fae is like a D&D like type shit. Like, fairy is the actual term. Like, we just decided that it
Well,
sounded cooler.
fae is also a term like
Apparently it's
used. There's
not
there's
that
a
old though. Like, it's not from the folklore. I don't know. I saw that recently. I might be wrong. Um so fairies could take your name and then you wouldn't have one anymore, and that would be very bad because it's like your identity. So those were things that I was under the impression were a thing, but I don't see them anywhere on this page. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's see, Fae is from, let's see, at least as old as Old French Romance.
Mm?
So,
But did it refer to the
there-
creatures?
there's yes, there's different spellings. I think you might be talking about the specific spelling of Fae, because there's like very many different versions of it. Like the modern English Fay or sometimes Fae spelling. Like if I went to like just the fairy page specifically, and there's like an etymology section, and it's like there's like a lot of different spellings from them, but they've always been like the Fae folk or the fairy folk, the fair folk or something like that, like some version. I'm looking to see if there's something about names on a page, because there's definitely like something about that.
It certainly came from somewhere because it's like part of the accepted lore now.
And I thought it did come from that. Okay. This is just gonna be a tangent, but I'm fine with it. Because this is not a long chapter. Okay, well, the Google AI says that this is a Reddit thing specifically. So I don't know.
Some person on Reddit says.
I mean, I also don't trust Google AI. So,
yeah, neither.
But they're like, oh yeah, this is according to a Reddit thread that somebody's like middle names were because of the fairy and the fairies and all of that. I don't know if I believe that. But I'm also just like, why don't they have the fairies? Oh no, they do have some of the fairy stuff here. Okay, but the altar thing just made me think of fate, and I just wanted to say that. It just made me think of that. So there's another couple examples here. We have Rumpelstiltskin. We love it. I love to see Rumpelstiltskin anywhere. Once Upon a Time girlies, raise your hands. But like, you know, that one's the you gotta guess what his name is, because names have power, and then he either disappears or he dies. I think it really depends, but shit happens. And then there is some fairy shit here. There is a little bit. Okay, so okay, this starts with the story of Saint Olaf recounting trolls and shit. Blah 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 blah. A troll built a church, but the saint freed himself by learning the troll's true name. All right, cool. Okay. If you're not baptized at birth, then a fairy might kidnap you and leave a changeling behind.
Okay, if you don't have a Christian name, as they say.
Okay, so it might not be middle names, it might just be Christian names specifically.
Interesting.
Which, that's so funny. I mean, there is like a lot going on there anyway, with like so much Celtic lore being lost to Christianity anyway. Like that is it's a whole study in and of itself, because like so many of the saints are actually Irish gods. Did you know this?
Right.
So it's like syncretism and all of that stuff. And it's like, there's not a whole lot of actual texts and everything that haven't been fully untouched by Christianity there. So it's very interesting. Maybe there was originally something about like other names, but I guess it's Christian names. Also, apparently there's some Scandinavian stuff. Ooh, you can defeat a Nyx. I know what that is. That's a water spirit.
Ooh.
By calling their true name. Very good. Very cool. Also, what? Oh, okay, this is talking about like items that have their own name too. Like this is saying like this specific sword is named, so it has its own personality. So Riptide has a personality.
Yeah,
guys.
That is
You
also what I'm
first.
getting from that. Good.
I mean, I will say Rick definitely leads into that in later things. So some things do in fact have personalities. There's an English tale about boggarts where they cannot be named.
That
if they're named, they cannot be reasoned with or persuaded.
Yeah, that sounds like something I've heard before. Like, you don't give a boggart a name.
Yeah. Is that like... I always get confused between like boggarts and brownies. I blame Spiderwick for this. But I know there's like, you don't give, or at least with brownies, you don't give them like certain gifts or whatever, or they get offended. But like, it feels very similar here. It's like, you don't give them a name or they're gonna be mad at you. Like, no, excuse me, I didn't want this. Actually.
You gotta be careful when fairies are involved.
And then the last thing here is there's like an opera, Turandot.
I think Turandot.
Turandot.
I don't know, but
that makes more sense because it's Italian,
good.
and I did not look up that part. So, and the princess is like, I need to learn the name of this suitor because I don't want to marry him.
See, that one I'm confused about why that's not in fiction instead of folklore. Fascinating how these things go, the sorting.
Yeah, it's an opera, so it's like, why?
I guess if your opera is old enough. I don't know, man. So I don't want to go through all of the pop culture. I just want to kind of look through.
Yeah, no, I'm not going through the pop culture because that's like,
okay.
You know,
so
that's stuff people
they
know.
mentioned Spirited Away. Have you seen Spirited Away?
Yes.
Okay, because that one is pretty clear.
Because she gets the name taken away. Yeah, I remember that.
That's a good one.
That shit happens.
I'm very amused by they mention Mr. Mixapitalik. I think that's how you pronounce that, from Superman.
Yes, because you have to say his name backwards to make him go away. Yep. And his name was already so hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck do you say that backwards?
I cannot imagine, my dude.
There's gotta be some Superman fans who are just like, I can say it backwards. What's up?
They mention Kane Chronicles in here, yes, which is good for me.
Always love when Rick gets mentioned in a pop culture section.
Yeah, good times,
like, hey,
good times.
Yeah.
They're picking up the vibe that we're laying down. Okay, that's probably good. We could probably do some chapter now.
You want to talk about a chapter?
Yeah.
I thought we were just bullshitting here.
I mean, when are we ever not?
All right, let's see. Men ask for directions and other signs of the apocalypse. So, Sadie goes to sleep. I would love to go to sleep. How?
You poor sleepy guy.
I'm just in hell. Don't worry about me.
Mood. Okay.
So her ba is going places. She's back in London at Cleopatra's Needle. This is an insane, like, sequence that happens here. But it starts with just, like, Isis is talking to her. She's like, you know, Bast was failing. Chaos is going to rain down. Like, it cannot be kept down forever. It grows, it cracks into civilization.
Wild shit. I would just like to point out the line, her multicolored wings faded in and out behind her like the northern lights. Good imagery. Love it.
I love, like, her wings so much. I don't like that they're behind her, though. Because, like, you know what they look like in the art? You've seen what Isis looks like? It's like her wings come off of her arms. Like, she's like, yeah.
See, I haven't really
it's one of those things that
thought about it, so let me see if I can find.
I mean, this is how I specifically also drew her, is where it's like, no, the wings should be part of her arms. Like, that's how she's usually drawn.
Oh,
is that
I see what
like,
you're saying. Yeah.
They're an extension of how her arms are.
Which honestly makes more, like, biological sense. Like, somebody was pointing out, like, just, like, sticking wings onto a human back is really weird. Like, you would need an extra set of shoulders to, like, make those function in any kind of way. So, like, if they're part of the same appendage, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, those people are thinking about humans as if, like, we could be bugs, basically. Like, oh yeah, you just, like, stick them on the back, just like a fly has those, you know? But no, that's not quite how it works. And especially with, like, how the Egyptian gods, like, they go in and out of, like, their animal forms so easily. That's why I'm like, it needs to be attached to her other appendages. So it, like, it's more anamorphic to me, at least.
It is. That's
just my gripe. But I do love how pretty her wings are, okay? She got really pretty wings. I tried to draw them pretty, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this in the same way. All right, so Isis is like, today it's gonna it's gonna happen to the American continent, but then tomorrow it'll happen in the world eventually. Blah 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 blah
And
blah.
then we see London in ruins. It's like basically entirely
This
gone.
is
It
intense.
is!
Y'all.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna read again because, like, the only thing standing was the obelisk, and as I watched, it began to crack open, all four sides peeling away like some ghastly flower unfolding. That is some imagery!
Okay, bro. So, spoilers for my plug later on. But I'm watching Sailor Moon,
Oh, good.
and this is just reminding me of like the opening of Sailor Moon S season 3 of Sailor Moon, where like we get the images of like the horrific future and all of that, and it's like everything is like crumbling, and it's like really dramatic and terrifying, and this is like a recurring nightmare that Sailor Mars Raye, our like our prophetic character has throughout the season, and I'm like, this is it's the same vibes, same vibes.
Yeah.
This is pretty scary. I can't wait to see that in a media. Please make Kane Chronicles into something, guys. I want to see it because this is a pretty epic moment to me. And Sadie is just like, I don't want to see this.
And so they
like,
leave.
I can't. But Isis is like, remember, your mother saw this, okay? You have to face it. Come on. So we go to the throne room. We see all of the different gods. It's the same one where Osiris was entombed and all that. Like we already had that scene. Even Anubis is here. He's behind the throne and he's looking at Sadie.
My gosh, those two, please. But the throne itself is empty.
We need a ruler. Horus must become the pharaoh.
And Sadie's like, you're kidding
Carter?
me? Yeah.
My idiot brother? What are you talking about?
And yeah, here we get to like the sort of weirdness of like, we're gonna help him become pharaoh. And Sadie's like, why am I not becoming pharaoh and he helps me? She's like, it's literally just not our thing.
Yeah, it is. I think we talked about this like last time, where it's like, yeah, it's weird that they have to be playing these specific roles and all that, because like, isn't the whole point of all this that like it's all very fluid anyway? But it's like there have been like strong women pharaohs, and I'm assuming Hatshepsut and Nefertiti also like took on Isis and her power, because I mean she is the power behind the throne.
That's true.
It's I would assume they would either be Path of Isis or Path of Hathor, because like those are like the two queenly ones. It could be Hathor, but yeah, Isis is like, do you even want it though? Do you, girl? And Sadie's like, yeah, no. Being like a queen actually gives me hives.
Yeah, actually, it sucks in here. I do not want to sit in that chair and have everyone stare at me.
So it's like it's not her role, but it's also like she doesn't want it anyway. So it's fine. But I feel like she doesn't want it should have been the first thing that we knew, regardless. So Sadie has to maintain her courage and her faith, not her most strong suits. And yeah, the gods are expecting shit from her.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
You don't want that. You never want to hear that.
So her moment's coming. And now Zia's waking her up. She's like, excuse me, wake up. Come on, hello. At least this time she's only poking her and she's not like pouring ice water on her.
You know what? You're right. That is an improvement.
So the boys are asking for directions, of course, in the gas station.
Because the GPS is out. That's why I was talking about GPS earlier. This storm is too bad.
Yeah. You know what this is like? This is just like in not Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, when you go to like the Gerudo like place, the desert place, your map stuff doesn't work in certain places because there's such a bad desert storm.
I think it's like that in Breath of the Wild too, if I remember correctly. Like the sandstorm puts your stuff out.
I don't remember there being as much sandstorms in Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, it's very like, it might be when you're on the I'm forgetting what those things are called now.
The divine beasts.
But like the beasts and all that shit. But like it's specifically like almost that entire section that it's happening to right now.
Yeah, I think that there's a specific place where that happens in Breath of the Wild. And so they probably just took that idea and expanded on it. I never got to that point in Tears of the Kingdom. I never went to the Gerudo area, but I remember that from Breath of the Wild. So it must be in both.
Hey, you should play more of that game.
I should.
I should too. I kind of like started the Gerudo quest and then I left them hanging. So
Aw.
that's what I keep doing. I'm just like, wait, no, I want to do more of the side quest before I do the main quest. Actually, let me get some more of the little leaf guys. Actually.
Oh, my sweet little leaf guys. Yeah, sandstorms will fuck you up, I guess is the point.
Yeah. So Zia and Sadie have to have their girl talk.
Uh-huh. Oh, Sadie calls out the joke. If two male magicians were desperate enough to stop for directions, we were in dire straits.
Yeah.
Fucking got him, Sadie.
Yeah, it's so good. It is. We're in Phoenix. It is like 4 a.m. It's a great time to be alive, clearly. They're up before I have to be up in the morning. That sucks.
Yeah.
Ugh. And Sadie thinks that Zia wants to talk about Carter.
Oh my god, this is
Like-
so funny. I forgot about this. Okay.
Like, obviously he likes you. He's been stammering a lot. And Zia's like, what, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
What's...
She thinks that Zia is asking for her blessing to date Carter. Like, I had my doubts. What
Like,
with you
you're
threatening to
asking
kill
for
us and all?
mine?
But
And then Zia's like, it's not about Carter at all. He's like, you know what, just forget. I mentioned any of that, actually.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
oh my god.
So,
Because she's like, oh, if you didn't know that Carter was, like, super into you, then that was probably not cool of me, I guess.
if she doesn't know, then I think she's blind. That boy is not subtle.
Oof. Okay.
He did already ask her out, so...
That's true. Yeah, they're already. Yeah. Sadie just thought they were having some girl talk, and then it turned out to be a different kind of girl talk than she thought.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I still think that your uncle is evil, maybe. So Set loves deception and traps.
Oh,
I mean,
the narrative is not hiding it anymore. We've kind of like we tacitly admit it to ourselves right here where Sadie says he's not possessed, he can't be, and then she feels the feather of truth burning. Like, even she knows that he could be.
that's okay, but why doesn't she burst into flames then?
Because it's a suspicion. It's lying to yourself by omission, I guess.
Yeah, but still, I feel like that defeats the whole like thing that Anubis said.
The rules are
and
wishy-washy.
everything. Yeah.
It feels like the
I don't know,
feather is like giving her a lot of leeway because it doesn't particularly want to burn her into flames, maybe.
Maybe. You know, maybe Isis is protecting her.
It's like, here, have
I
a
don't know.
warning that if you don't like become more truthful right now, you're gonna burn into flames.
Yeah. And Z is just like, okay, I get it. You've lost a lot of family members. You need to like keep this one.
You need him to be okay.
But-
yeah, oh man.
But shit's going on, okay? Like, Set can control people. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Amos didn't do anything wrong. He's just probably possessed.
Yeah, even
Which-
if your uncle
okay,
would
we're
never do
using-
something like this, like, that doesn't mean that it's not set. Yeah.
It is very weird. We're using possession versus like the godling thing with the Amos and stuff, at least. Like, it's very weird.
Right.
And wishy-washy.
Especially because the way that they've talked about it, like, being possessed and being a godling are, like, sort of interchangeable. Like, people would
Yeah.
consider them the same thing, even if, like, they had totally given themselves up to the gods.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know. But, like, maybe the possession means that it's, like, forceful? Because, like, they have had a choice. Not really, because the gods just kind of got in them without asking for consent.
Yeah.
But they haven't had to give themselves up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. It's like, how does this thing work with Set necessarily? Like, is he in Amos? Did he like jump out of Amos into the pyramid and now he's just like still puppeteering him? Like,
If Amos is like
what's the
a
vibe?
host, like, does that mean that the pyramid thing was a lie? I don't know.
Is he in both?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? I'm very confused.
But I feel like the implication is that he is a host, because otherwise Zia's plan wouldn't make any sense if Amos is not actually set. So that seems
it's
to be what
very
she thinks, at
weird.
least.
I just want them to, like, have better language around it, because, like, using possessed versus, like, host and godling and all of that other stuff is very weird.
It is weird, but it doesn't bother me, because I feel like people are, like, messy about language in real life and, like, use different words, like, depending on what implications they want something to have. Like, we're like, this is a bad thing, and so we're gonna use a word with bad connotations. You know what I mean? Like,
it just
and I
confuses me.
I kind of like when lore is a little wishy-washy, because it, leaves a layer of mystery. And I know that you don't really. You like things to be defined.
Sorry, I'm autistic. I didn't know it was a problem for you.
I'm just saying that that's a difference between the two of us. We have different preferences, and that's good and cool. That's good and cool of us, Charlie.
Fine. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where we are.
Okay. So Sadie says that even if, like, Amos is, like, taking us to a trap, it's too late. This is the only plan we have. We're going up to the pyramid. And Zia has to think of, like, a new plan for, like, right now. Something that we can do before that happens. And so her plan is to give Sadie the name and have her use it.
And it's like, okay, but you want to do it, like, right now? Like, right this second? Like, just get him.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't the whole point to go up to the pyramid and also save your dad? What about that part? Like,
well, presumably if Set was gone, they'd be able to do that easier. I don't see an issue with the idea of...
Well, my brain's just like, how do they get to the pyramid?
Oh, they go get Doughboy and have him drive? I don't know.
I'm just like, they're lost. They're lost in Phoenix in the desert, and they're never gonna make it to the pyramid.
Carter got the directions too. No, it's fine. It's okay. No, you're right though, because one of them says, what does she say about Amos being the one who knows where the stuff is?
Yeah, and I'm just like, what if he doesn't know where it is once they, like,
exercise,
get set out of him or whatever? I don't know how I don't know how that's supposed to work exactly, but I don't know. Exorcise the demon from him.
Yeah. So Sadie points out that Zia's plan is very risky if Amos is not hosting Set, because they can only use the book once.
And it disappears?
Yeah.
And it appears somewhere else in the world.
Did we know that?
We know this before?
I don't know.
I don't remember that
coming up.
That could just be our ADHD, or it could be the fact that it was not mentioned previously. So somebody else confirmed this, but I don't know. And then of course they're, like, interrupted as Zia's just like, now you got to use the name now, and there's Amos right there. Like, oops.
The foreshadowing, my dude. It's like, we are not trying to be subtle anymore. So this last paragraph before it's all over, she waits to see if Isis will tell her what she's supposed to do, and Isis is not being helpful, which, like, she really should. Like, please, girl. She says, perhaps things would have turned out differently if I'd agreed to Zia's plan. Sounds bad. Very worried.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Anyways, yeah, so that's our other very short chapter.
Yeah, I think next time it's going to be at least a little bit longer. It'd be good. Be fine.
It's a little longer. It is more than 5 pages.
I think they finally get there next time.
So good. And bad.
So enough traveling. It's been so much traveling. Oh my goodness. Well, that's another chapter. My dude. You got a plug?
Yeah, sure. We watched a movie called Boy Kills World, and it's like this like neon, like, post-apocalyptic, like, evil corporations, like, very, like, I don't know that camp is the exact right word, but it's a silly but also, very into its own world building kind of film. And the primary character, who is named Boy because he doesn't remember his own name, is deaf and mute. and his internal dialogue and internal monologue are done by the fucking guy from Bob's Burgers. I don't remember his name, but it's the guy who's Bob from Bob's Burgers because Boy remembers playing like an arcade game and that being like the announcer's voice from that, and he's like, so I'll just use that as my voice because I don't remember what I sounded like. And so they have like this very silly like narration from him. Yeah, it's a really ridiculous movie. Disabled main character, love that. With like some fucking wild ass plot twists, one of which I predicted. Yeah, we had a ton of fun watching it. If you like really kind of like violent action movies sort of, it was just a good time.
Cool.
And I haven't consumed a bunch of other media recently.
That's totally valid, man. Good stuff.
You gonna tell me about Sailor Moon? I've watched a lot of Sailor Moon. I've never like sat down and watched through Sailor Moon. I don't know like the big plots.
I have so many times, bro. So
yeah, I had like specific Sailor Moon VHSs like in my house that we watched, and like that's the majority of what I've seen.
My mother has the DVDs, bro. And so I found it. I found it online. I'm watching the dub. I'm watching the 90s dub because that is what I love. That is what I live for. Like the voices, the dialogue. It really is. Yeah. It's so good. It's so cringe, but it's also it's like coming home.
It is. It is.
Okay. This was my first fandom, y'all. This is where my heart lives. Is Sailor Moon.
Okay, question. Do you have a favorite Sailor Moon movie?
Obviously, is Sailor Moon R. Promise the Rose. Mm-hmm. Straight up, no questions asked.
The one that I owned, and so the one that I have the best memories of, I know that that's the best one, but the one that like lives in my heart is Black Dream Hole. Good Valentine's Day movie.
I feel like Black Dream Hole might be the one I remember the least about because that's the one with like the little fairy guys and the children.
Yeah, they play their instruments and steal children with their chocolate. Yeah. They sing that little song.
Yes, they do.
Chocolate. Okay.
I do remember the songs. I do always remember the songs, but I'm glad you're like objectively Promise the Rose is the best one because it is.
Yeah, I know.
You're so correct. Listen, so I think we lost our VHS of it, which makes me so sad. The reason I got a VCR when I moved, like I have a DVD VCR thing here in my apartment, and it's specifically so that I could convert that VHS to a DVD because we had a DVD version of it, but it had the Japanese music with the English dub. It was like it was a newer version-ish, newer, quote unquote, but the VHS had the English music and the power of love. That entire sequence is one of my favorite sequences in Sailor Moon entirely. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this whole sequence. Watch the whole movie though, because like they specifically do this thing throughout the movie where it's like Sailor Moon is the glue that keeps the scouts together, and each of them have like these moments where they remember like, oh, this is a moment when I was really alone, when I was the weird kid and all of that. And then in this Power of Love sequence where like she's stopping the giant meteor from hitting the planet and killing everybody, and she's trying to call in their power, and they're remembering a time when she was there, like, being their friend. Like, doing the most mundane of things. It's like, hey, Amy, you're not gonna read right now. We're gonna go have fun. Hey, Raye, why are you doing so many chores? That's, like, bad for you. Whatever. Hey, Lita, I love your lunch. It looks so good. Aren't you scared of me? No, not at all. And like, oh my goodness, I'm meeting Sailor Venus for the first time ever. You're like my favorite. Like, this, I'm That's the entire sequence. But basically, it's just like, and each of them is like sad and like remembering these moments and like, I gotta do this for my friend. Like, she's there for me. And this whole movie is about friendship and love. And it's also kind of gay because I guess my plug is now just this movie specifically. But like, there's the alien guy who comes back after so many years because he can't really survive on this planet. It's very weird what's going on with that. But he was Darian's friend for a time, and then he had to leave. And now he's come back and he's like, Darian, you gave me a flower one time. I'm coming back with flowers for you.
Oh.
And it's also really gay.
Good.
Because it's two guys. Just saying. Like, every time he says friend, I'm just like, yeah? You sure that's the word you want to use, bro? Are you sure? This is just a little bit. I feel like, you know, you're giving each other flowers. Uh-huh. Okay. And he's jealous of, like, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
He's jealous of Sailor Moon, Serena, like, because they're together in a romantic sense. And it's like, if you're jealous of that, then either you're a really bad friend or you have romantic feelings here. So, but yeah, it's a good fucking movie, okay? That's why I was like, I really want to have this with me when I, like, go and move. I was like, I don't care if I get all of them converted. I want this one converted specifically because I need to have it with me. And then we couldn't find the VHS. So I was like, I'm just gonna cry forever. And then I found it online.
I need to watch this. I really don't remember it. Like, I was small.
I'm just telling you, Power of Love sequence, it makes me cry. Okay? It's very important. I do listen to the song very often. I love this song.
Good. Okay. I think
90s.
it's time for you to release us from this mortal coil.
What? You're telling me I can't just talk about Sailor Moon forever?
Maybe next time.
Listen, last bonus feed episode for the bits, Robert and I were just like, should we start a Sailor Moon podcast?
Of course you were.
And it's like, one, neither of us have time. Robert is always burnt out, and currently I'm always sleepy. So I don't think that could work. But maybe once we finish Steven Universe. So
maybe next time.
Sailor Moon podcast when? Yeah, I guess I could release you from this mortal coil.
Oh, that's so kind.
I you know, you literally, the Archangel Raphael, I name you. I name you right here.
Ah, fuck. I'm bursting into flames.
Oh, okay. I thought I could just, like, control you or something.
No,
but,
that's
like, sure.
what happens. Sorry. I didn't know you didn't know. Ah, fuck.
Okay, well, I guess you're getting the fuck out of my house of life now. Bye. Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert, called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
If you're evil and you're on the rise,
you can count on the two of us taking you down.
That's right, folks. After a year and a half of covering Season 1 of Steven Universe,
The Bits is finally covering Season 2 of our favorite queer cartoon from over 10 years ago.
We're coming back better than ever,
with new questions to ask and new Pearl points to give.
We're hoping this season won't have as many breaks.
And even though we're only covering half as many episodes this season,
we know we'll have even more content.
So, grab some fry bits.
And join your favorite jam buds, Charlie
and Robert, every Friday wherever you get podcasts.
If I fall asleep during the recording, we'll just leave the snoring in.
Perfect. Oh, man.
It'll be great. It'll be so great. Because, like, I want to know, like, what my snoring sounds like. That'll be the way to tell.
Man, I used to try to use, like, an app for that to see if I could get night sounds. But I just, like, roll over in my sleep, like, so fucking much. It was all just, like, bed creaking.
Me too. I also do keep swapping positions, like, so often. It's a lot.
The most ridiculous thing that happens to me overnight is that, like, one of my middle blankets will be removed to the blanket pile, and I'm like, how did you do that? What? The blanket between the sheet and the comforter will be gone. It will be, like, at the bottom of the bed, and I'm like, how? How, bestie?
You sleep with so many blankets.
Oh, yeah, I do. Not as many as Teddy, though. They have, like, 7. I have 3 plus a sheet.
I used to just be the sheet and the comforter person.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I was really cold, and then I'd be like, okay, extra blanket time. And now I'm just like, I cannot even sleep with my comforter.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
let alone my sheet.
I went the opposite way.
Like, well, it's so fucking warm in here.
Oh, man.
I'm dying. Why do you think I can't sleep at
Oh,
night?
no.
It's too warm. I cannot get comfy.
I've also been having trouble
on my body.
One of the springs in my bed broke, so
oh no.
So I need a new mattress. We're gonna maybe go look for one this weekend. But so that's been troublesome.
Yeah. My bed back at my parents' place, like, was a little bit broken, a little bit broken in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I, like, flipped the mattress so that I could still sleep on the usual side of the bed that I wanted to.
Uh-huh. As you do.
As I do. Yeah. I wonder if they're ever gonna replace that mattress. It's the real question. You wanna do a podcast?
Yeah, we should do a podcast probably. It'd be good for us.
Yeah.
Dave X Media.